Hello everybody and welcome back to SFF180. Thomas here, your host as always. I want to thank you all for joining me. It is Monday, July the 24th, and it is time once again for the mailbag, of course. Had a week off from the mailbag last week, and to be perfectly honest with you, it was kind of nice. I took that week not only to get some much needed work done, but to think a little bit about the channel, my level of satisfaction with the channel, how it's going, what I might like to change about what I'm doing on the channel and with the channel, if anything. And so I will talk a little bit about that, but I'm going to do it at the end of the mailbag instead of at the beginning, when I usually do some quick announcements. That way I don't waste your time. If all you want to do is see what the new books are, right? Then you don't have to sit around enduring me jabbering. All right, you can just see what the new stuff is, and then those of you who would like to stick around and hear me just say a few words, briefly, I'm not gonna, belabor the point, but to talk a little bit about my thoughts on how the channel is and what I want to do about it perhaps differently, then you can stick around for that at the end. So, decent stack, not massive, but a decent stack for the end of July, so let's go ahead and get right into it and see what's here. Okay, and this first one, interesting bit of trivia. I had a package stolen this week. That doesn't happen very often, but on rare occasions it has happened, and it happened this week. An envelope turned up from Random Penguin. It's possible, but I don't think it was accidentally opened. It looked like it had been deliberately opened and the book removed, which sucks when that happens, but what can you do, right? So I have a pretty good idea. I know what was in it. I think it would have been the arc for The Core by Peter Brett, because, judging by what I've seen some of my fellow reviewers get in the mail this week, so, looks like it might have been that thing. It's disappointing, but I'll drop a line to Del Rey and let them know what happened, and, c'est la vie, right? But this one here, this one comes from HarperCollins. And first up, this is a book called The Rift Uprising. It just says The Rift Uprising, so I don't know if it's The Rift Uprising, or if it's the Rift Uprising, like the Rift is uprising, which could be a thing that Rifts do. But this it's actually already out. Came out on July the 4th. And this was already out in hardcover last year, but this is the paperback edition, so they're still really trying to push it. New cover, which I think is a big improvement. What's this all about then? It says, about the Rift Uprising, normal 17-year-old girls go to high school, binge-watch TV shows all weekend, and flirt with everyone on the face of the earth. Wait a minute, what? Really? Are you 17? Are you a girl? Can you let me know, like, if literally everyone on the face of the earth is someone you've flirted with? I'm not going to belabor that. Okay. Anyway, Rin Whitaker is trying to save it. The Earth, I take it. Okay. Rin is a citadel, a soldier, a liar. Rin and her fellow citadels were specially chosen and trained to guard a rift, one of 14 unpredictable tears in the fabric of the universe that serve as doorways to alternate Earths, okay? Unbeknownst to her family, Rin leaves for school each day and then reports for duty as an elite, cybernetically altered soldier who can run faster, jump farther, and fight better than a Navy SEAL. She can probably flirt better, right? Which comes in handy when she's not sure if axe-wielding Vikings or any number of other terrified and often dangerous beings come through the rift. A fine-tuned weapon, Rin is a picture-perfect citadel, but that's all about to change. When a young man named Ezra is pulled through the rift, Rin finds herself immediately drawn to him, despite her training. Well, she's got that flirt skill, right? I mean, when you've practiced on everyone in the world, you can handle a dude coming through from an alternate universe pretty well with your flirt skills. Am I not right? Okay, what starts as a physical attraction quickly grows deeper, and Ezra's curiosity throws Rin off balance when he starts questioning the rifts, the mysterious organization that oversees them, and the citadels themselves, questions that lead Rin to wonder if the lies she's been telling her family are just the surface of a much bigger lie told to her. Okay, getting all this? As Rin and Ezra desperately try to get to that truth, they discover that each revelation blurs the line between the villains and the heroes even more. Okay, snark aside, let's not judge a book by the sell sheet, right? You know, because that sell sheet's written by a publicist and the book is written by someone else. But anyway, The Rift Uprising by Amy S. Foster. And I just dropped that. I'm sorry, it's been a day. So it is already out now in trade paperback from Harper Voyager. Everyone on Earth. Okay, well this one is from probably a Tor package. This is nice to see. It's from Tor. It's out tomorrow on the 25th. It's by Adam Christopher, and it's called Killing Is My Business. It's the sequel to Made to Kill, and it says it's a blending of noir detective stories and science fiction featuring a robot gumshoe and his brassy supercomputer boss. All right, cute. Another golden morning in a seedy town, and a new memory tape for intrepid PI turned hitman and last robot left in working order, Raymond Electromatic. When his comrade in Electronic Arms, Ada, assigns a new morning roster of clientele, Ray heads out into the LA sun, only to find out that his skills might be a bit rustier than he expected. Rusty, you can get it? Because he's a robot. Cool. Killing Is My Business is in the latest of Christopher's noir oeuvre, hot on the heels of the lauded novel Made to Kill. And then there's also been, I think, a novella that Tor.com Publishing has done in this series. Anyway, these look like a heap of fun, and I've been meaning to catch up with them, but Killing Is My Business is out tomorrow on the 25th from Tor in hardcover. And next we have a package from the Hachette Group. And this one is especially exciting, you guys. It is here at last, The Stone Sky by N.K. Jemisin. This is the third and final volume in the Broken Earth trilogy, sequel to the 5th season and the Obelisk Gate. If you don't know anything about those books, what rock have you been living under? All right, I've reviewed both of those here on the channel. They've won the BookTube SFF Awards, and the 5th season won the Hugo. And you need to read these bad boys if you haven't done it yet. And the finale is finally here. Expect a review for this one rather surprisingly soon. Okay? But anyway, it is out on the 15th of August from Orbit Books in trade paperback. Finally, the conclusion. And what have we here? Okay, this is what feels like a hardcover from Random Penguin. All right, Epic Fantasy fans, gird your loins. We have a new hardcover Epic Fantasy from Daw Books. Comes out August the 1st. It's called Halls of Law. And the author is V.M. Escalada. This is a woman. Doesn't say whether or not this is her debut novel, but I've never heard of her before, so it may very well be. This is, it's full of griffins. This is a book about griffins, apparently. The Faraman polity was created by the first Lukes and has been ruled for generations by those of the Lukes bloodline. Yes, Daw actually sent a sell sheet this time, and I am ecstatic. So I have something to read from. It is a burgeoning empire maintained by the combined efforts of the standing military force and the talents of the Halls of Law. While the military preserves and protects, it is the Hall's talents, those gifted from birth with magical abilities, to serve as the agents and judges of the law. For no one can successfully lie to a talent. In Halls of Law, 17-year-old Karita Nast has always wanted a career in the military, just like the rest of her family. So when her talent is discovered and she knows she'll have to spend the rest of her life as a psychic for the Halls of Law, Kara isn't happy about it. Anyone entering the halls must give up all personal connection with the outside world, losing their family and friends permanently. Just as Karita is beginning to reconcile herself to her new role, the polity is invaded by strangers from Halia, who begin a systematic campaign of destruction against the halls, killing every last talent they can find. That's rude. Karita manages to escape, falling in with Tel Cursor, a young soldier fleeing the battle, which saw the deaths of the royal family. Having no obvious heir to the throne, no new ruler to rally behind, the military leaders will be divided, unable to act quickly enough to save the empire. And with the halls being burned to the ground and the talent slaughtered, the rule of law will be shattered. Okay, and then I don't want to go because it sounds like it's getting a little too detailed in the plot synopsis, but okie dokie. Well, this is being marketed as adult fantasy, but with a 17-year-old heroine. Looks like there could be YA crossover appeal. But like I said, this is out August the 1st. Looks very pretty. So if you like griffins and apparently warfare, then this might be for you. Let me know in the comments. And a little package from Random Penguin. Okay, then, well, here is one that is a young adult, marketed as a young adult. It's called No Good Deed. The author is Cara Connolly. It's already out, apparently. Arrived on the 18th. so it's been out about a week. It says, debut author Kara Connolly reimagines the legend of Robin Hood in No Good Deed. Ellie Hudson is the frontrunner on the road to gold for the U.S. Olympic archery team. All she has to do is qualify at the trials in jolly old England when Ellie makes some kind of crazy wrong turn in the caverns under Nottingham Castle. Yes, that Nottingham. She ends up in the Middle Ages. Derp. Okay. Sherwood Forest is filled with bandits and the king is away at war. The Robin Hood legend is an age-old story, and Ellie knows it well. But here, in medieval England, the details are a little different, and the sheriff wants to lock Ellie up. Only when a handsome knight lends her a bow and a quiver of arrows does she have a fighting chance of surviving. Finding her way home, that's another story entirely. Okay, well, that's cute. Let's see, she's from Arlington, so she's a Texas author. Okay. Oh, it says it's perfect for fans of Dorothy Must Die. Well, I've tried 3 times to read Dorothy Must Die, and it was shittier each time. So hopefully, No Good Deed is quite a bit superior to that. But in any event, all right. It is out now. All right, next up we appear to have another YA, but this is a very different sort of a thing, looks like. It's called The Hearts We Sold. The author is Emily Lloyd Jenkins, and let's see, it's a fantasy YA about deals made with devils and the price people are willing to pay for their heart's desires. Comes out August the 8th. When Latinx teen Dee Moreno, or Moreno, actually, makes a pact with the devil, her heart in exchange for an escape from an abusive home life, she finds her trade may be more than she bargained for, and becoming heartless is the only beginning. What lies ahead is a nightmare far bigger, far more monstrous than anything she could ever have imagined. After trading her heart for her freedom, Dee has only a group of other deal-making teens to keep her grounded, including the charming but secretive James Lancer. And as something like love grows between them amidst an otherworldly ordeal between the demons and humans, Dee begins to wonder, can she give James her heart when it's no longer hers to give? At this point, I have to wonder, like, obviously when it says she traded the demon her heart, we don't mean that, like, in the literal biological sense. So what it probably means is that she traded the demon her ability to love? Or whatever. I never understand with these kinds of stories. But again, this appears to be, it says it's a thought-provoking Faustian tale for the modern age that will capture your heart, it says, with horror elements and fantasy elements set in a recognizable semi-realistic world. The Hearts We Sold is great for fans of Leigh Bardugo and Holly Black. All right, the book also features a diverse breadth of topics, ranging from sexuality, transgender transitions, race, and familial abuse. Okay, so it's chock full of all of that sort of thing. Alrighty, well, if this sounds, obviously by now you're figuring out whether or not this sounds like the sort of book for you, but it looks like she's trying to use the fantasy genre to explore some topics that are very meaningful and very close to some people's hearts. You see? Hearts. But yeah, comes out August the 8th. Let me know in the comments what you think. Emily Lloyd Jenkins from Little Brown and Company Books for Young Readers. And moving on down the stack, we have another group from Random Penguin. This appears to have at least 2 books in it. Okay, we have a couple of arcs, which I don't usually get from Dawes, so this is pretty cool. First is The Impostors of Aventil, my buddy Marshall Ryan Maresca, and his latest Maridane novel. It says The Thorn of Denton Hill and the Maridane Constabulary, which is spelled here Constabulary. I'm not kidding you. Meet at Last. This comes out October the 3rd. It's called The Impostors of Aventil, or Aventil. In The Impostors of Aventil, Summer and the Grand Tournament of High Colleges have come to the University of Maridane. If the heat and the crowds weren't enough to bring the campus and the neighborhood of Aventil to a boiling point, rumors that the Thorn is on the warpath, killing the last of the Red Rabbits, is enough to tip all of Maridane into the fire. So if you've been following this series, this will be out, like I said, October the 3rd. And coming up next, we have an arc for Julie Chernada's new book, and this is the 3rd in her reunification trilogy. And so this one is called To Guard Against the Dark. The previous books were The Gulf of Time and Stars and The Gate to Futures Past. And so this one comes out October the 10th. This is a new trilogy set in her Trade Pact universe, which takes you all the way back to the very beginning of her career with 1,000 Words for Stranger. This is good stuff if you like this kind of C.J. Cherry-style space opera, but I think that she is a little bit... C.J. can be a little bit clunky sometimes with her pacing and a bit confusing with her plots. And I think this is perhaps a little bit more of a streamlined and cleaner kind of tale, very much like what C.J. Cherryh tells. To Guard Against the Dark comes out October the 10th. I may have already said that. Let me know in the comments. I very much want to get caught up with Julie Czerneda because I love this kind of science fiction, and I seem very rarely to allow myself the time and chance to indulge myself in it. All right, we're getting close to the end, and ooh, I think I know what this might be. This one comes from the Overlook Press. Yep, here it is. This is the Unholy Consult, and this is the fourth and final book in the Aspect Emperor series by R. Scott Baker, and this is a follow-up to his debut trilogy, The Prince of Nothing, which I guess is about 10 or 12 years old now. And this series has been a long time in the completion. There was a delay in the third volume for the longest time. I think it was one of those cases where the third volume, I believe, had to be split into two because it was turning out so massive. But in any event, yeah, The Unholy Consult, it says... Well, it says it comes out July, but it doesn't give an exact date, and there's really only one more Tuesday in July that it could come out in, so maybe this hits stores tomorrow. The Prince of Nothing trilogy it's very much in the Game of Thrones, Song of Ice and Fire tradition. It's not really grimdark, but it is this sweeping saga. It's essentially about a massive religious crusade and the war that results from that. And Baker himself is like a philosophy PhD guy, and he incorporates, I think, quite a lot of that into his storytelling, and it's very rich on the world building. I don't think it's quite as strong as Martin's work, but it's very interesting for all of that. It's a very convincing and rich evocation of the world. And because this series is incomplete, I haven't gotten into this one yet, but now that it is complete, perhaps it's good for a binge. But I know a whole lot of fans. He has a very tight fan base, and some of them on occasion drop me an email, wanting to know, hey, are you gonna? And so, yes, I'm gonna. But in any event, The Unholy Consult, I'm gonna assume, is available in hardcover tomorrow from the Overlook Press. And final one, you guys, this one appears to be from Saga. And it is. I got two books in this package, and the first one here is this arc for a book called Quill of Fur, and the author is Walter John Williams, who incidentally is one of the guests of honor at Worldcon this year. I've been acquainted with Walter for many, many years. Very nice guy, very talented writer. Spreads out all over the genre. He's written everything from cyberpunk to hard science fiction to very bestsellery disaster novels to this kind of near future, Kim Stanley Robinson kind of stuff to high fantasy, and this appears to be one of these. And it seems like he's doing very much a Scott Lynch attempt right here, but it's Scamp, Conman, Soldier. Quill of Fur is the man you always want in your corner. Quill of Fur is a young man who's living a comfortable life in his beloved small nation of Duisland. D-U-I-S-L-A-N-D. You figure it out. Until it's invaded, a charmer not a fighter, Quill of Fur soon finds himself a refugee with a talent for getting himself out of trouble. A talent he'll need when he joins the army in pursuit of an ideal and finds himself at the epicenter of a war. Quill of Fur is the beginning of renowned author Walter John Williams' long-awaited adventure fantasy series. And, it features one of these lovable rogue heroes, right? Okay, October the 3rd for this. And then finally, coming out August the 8th, this is the finished copy of my dear friend Stina Light's new book, Blackthorne. This is the second half of her duology, The Malorum Gates. As you see, it is a flintlock fantasy. It is chock full of war and acts of daring and roguishness. And if you like that sort of thing, well, now's an opportunity to pick up both Cold Iron, which is the first book, and now Blackthorne. Not Blackthorne, Blackthorne. There it is, Thomas. Good. And I'll probably be reviewing the two of these back-to-back really soon, probably right after Worldcon. So anyway, check these out and pick them up if you haven't. And that is it. That is all for the mailbag for this 24th of July. You know the drill. Light up those comments. Let me know which of these looks most interesting and exciting to you, which you would like to see me prioritize for review. You guys know how it works. And okay, very quickly, let me just sort of bring up what it is I mentioned at the first, what I sort of hinted about. I've just been looking at the channel lately, and the mailbags, I worry, perhaps, are dominating the channel a bit too much. They're every week, and I've been looking over, in contrast my review content for the year, and I feel like I have really not been producing additional content above and beyond the mailbags, including reviews and discussion videos and anything else that I might think up. There hasn't been a good balance, and I worry that the mailbags have been dominating, and I worry that that is altering perceptions of the channel. Like, people look at SFF180 and maybe they think of it as the mailbag channel, right? It's like it's where you go to watch the mailbags and see what's coming out. But, you know, I'm a reviewer, right? I mean, that's my background. That's my background going back to the turn of the century, right? And that's my main thing. That's my love, is to dig into a book and study it, read it, analyze it, pick it apart, and then talk to you guys about it, you know, share my opinions, share my insights and observations. That's really what, you know, I love about how to interact with books. I've been a bit worried that with the dominance of the mailbags on the channel, what I've turned into is a promoter who reviews occasionally. And that's not what I want to be. I mean, I enjoy the mailbags, and I think it's important to have them, because if you're going to do a YouTube channel, having something that is regular like clockwork that people can rely on in terms of your uploads, I think really helps. Having a regular schedule, I think, has been very, very important to making SFF180 as successful as it has been, considering that I am already very much not part of the mainstream in terms of what BookTube usually consists of. I'm very much on the edges, the fringes of what is already a niche on YouTube. You know, adult science fiction fantasy. And so I think that it's helped me, but at the same time I worry that it's dominated. It's been a little bit too much. Too much promotion, not enough criticism, not enough discussion. And so a couple of days ago, well, maybe about a week ago, I did a Twitter poll on the subject of the mailbags and what people might like to see me change about them. And the results were interesting. As you see there, nearly a half and half split as to whether or not I should stay weekly, go bi-weekly. And now the perception seems to be, well, why not just play it by ear? Like, if I have a good batch of books, go ahead and do a mailbag. But I don't know. I mean, that's still a very small sample size of people who took that poll. And I really want to hear, you know, compared to the hundreds of you who are going to watch this video. So I want to hear from you guys. You know, let me know sincerely what you think about, you know, how should I balance doing more of the content that I really want to do, more of the reviewing, more of the criticism, more of the discussion that you'd like to see. I know people really want to see me do videos like essential reads in certain subgenres. Like, what are the essential cyberpunk books? What are the essential, you know, post-apocalypses or portal fan, you know, things like that. They really want to see that kind of thing. People want to see author explorations. People want to see more retros, things like that. You know, how to balance the mailbag. Should I just play it by ear, which some people are saying? Should I go bi-weekly, or should I just stay weekly and try to be more disciplined with my time, which I'd really like to do, and be more regular with the additional content? I'm perfectly happy continuing to do every Monday Mailbag Monday, if during the week I can get at least one, and on a good week, hopefully two, you know, videos out between each mailbag. But I've seen, like, I've been looking over the past year, and there's some weeks where it's just, you know, mailbag, nothing, and then it sorts like 4 mailbags in a row before I upload anything else. And I haven't been happy with that output. I haven't been satisfied. I feel like I've been underperforming. Not just in terms of, you know, satisfying you guys, my viewers, but satisfying myself. And I want to see a change. I want to see myself doing more of it. I've been very happy with this break here because, like I said, I've already gotten 2 really good, I think, review videos up in the intervening days. And I have another one coming probably tomorrow or Wednesday at the latest. So I've been happy in that I have been able to take this time to be more productive in the way I want to be. But what else can I do and what else should I do? You guys let me know, because, you know, ultimately, you know, we're all the SFF180 family here. And I couldn't do this without you guys. I really couldn't frickin' do this without you guys, all right? And I appreciate and I love every single last frickin' one of you, all right? That's it. That's all I got, all right? So, you know the drill. Like, share, sub, all that good shit. You can also support the channel at my TeePublic store and at my Patreon, where it recruits into Wink's army for $2 a month. get to see my videos a day early and help me out with little costs here and there. And I want to thank all of them, and I want to thank you guys just for being awesome viewers. And so until I see all of you next time, happy reading.